everyone. Thanks for being here. This is Blue Social Token 101 and Minting Workshop. We're so happy to have you. Let's just go over a few housekeeping items before we get started. Please remain muted through the duration of the workshop. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat. We're going to have a Q&A at the end of these sessions, and we'll go over your questions then. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Amy Soon. Amy is the founder of Blu3 and author of Harmony's book, Create Wealth in Harmony. She's a fellow of the Society of Actuaries and previously spent her life consulting with chief HR officers of Fortune 500 companies on topics such as equity compensation and ownership structure for M&A deals. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Nellie. Thank you for that nice introduction. Welcome, Blue Butterflies, DAO leaders, and new friends. Welcome to our Blue Tree House. Well, we have achieved a lot in ETH Denver and ETH Rio. Today marks a very special moment for us because this is a milestone. This is our very first URL online virtual AMA and training workshop, and we are so honored to have you guys a part of our very first AMA as we launch this monthly series. So welcome. Actually, give me 1 second. I should share my screen. All right. We are Blu3. What is Blu3? Our mission is to empower women, non-binaries, and allies to enter the Web3 space to learn, earn, and play. Our mandate and our vision is to onboard 1,000 women scholars, launch 1,000 DAOs, and 1,000 social tokens. So why are we hosting this workshop today? As some of you and a lot of you may have known, we just got back from ETH Rio a week ago, and together with Harmony, Project Y, we funded 33 projects. Each of them got about $10,000, and one of the requirement was to launch their own social tokens. Who of you here, actually, I want to see, who of you here got Project Y grants? Raise your digital hands. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. All right, congratulations. The rest of you. In the future, hopefully we'll see more grants being granted to help you launch your DAOs. Congratulations. So yes, our Blue Scholars, they launched, I think collectively we launched 14 DAOs from our Blue Scholars that went. And then our core team directly supported 22, but Harmony create a huge impact in the Latin region, and they launched 33 projects to help the local region start to get into the Web3 space. And it was a big milestone for Harmony as well. But during that project, we realized that a lot of people weren't familiar with the concept of what a social token was or how to mint one. And therefore, we decided as a DAO to provide this onboarding session today to support the ecosystem. I will share my screen again. Okay, so while there's no clear definition of what a social token is, just like everything in Web3, we're walking on a bridge while building it. But the good thing about DAOs and Web3 in general is that all of us are learning together and we're all pioneers in creating what that looks like. So why social tokens? Social token is a type of cryptocurrency. It's a powerful way for influencers and organizations to create a mechanism that allows them to capture value and manage how they want the value to be earned, redeemed, and to flow in their communities. Imagine creating a world where money wasn't a thing, like it didn't exist. How would you run your country? And that's basically what social token is for influences and communities. Up today, we have 5 amazing speakers. We have Sin Huang, who will be leading our DAO and social token DAO for Blue. We have Randy Gomez, who will be leading our Blue Onboarding DAO, and also she helped spearhead the launch of Blue Latam. We have Joe Monastery, who is one of our best, most active contributors in our chat. I'm sure you've seen him in a Telegram chat a lot, so we're very lucky to have Joe. And Noe, our sweetheart, who helped make sure that everybody had a good place to stay in East Denver. And she wants to be a tokenomics expert, and she will be. So we're happy to have you here today. Before we begin our session today, let us remind you that we are not financial advisors or lawyers, and this is not financial advice. This is just for informational purposes, and you should always seek out the expertise of a professional. Just like everything else in Web3, regulations are still unclear. So it's very important that if you choose to launch your own tokens, that you do proper diligence, hire the right legal advisors to ensure that you're not breaking any law, especially as regulations are becoming more of a priority this year. So on our agenda, we will kick off with social tokens overview, and then we'll dive into some compliance and regulatory considerations, tokenomics sneak peek, and then how to create and mint your own social tokens with some resources at the end and some exciting announcements, and ending it with an Ask Me Anything session. All right, are we ready to begin? So for our first section, let's all welcome Cynthia Huang. Cynthia is currently the growth lead at D-Travel, a decentralized vacation rental platform, and the DAO and social tokens lead for our Blue DAO. She's also a co-founder of Altcoin Fantasy, a crypto trading simulation game with over 350,000 users, and co-founder of Air Host Forum, a top global Airbnb host community. Cynthia's articles have been published in crypto and startup publications and interviewed on crypto and Web2 outlets. She's worked in Web3 since 2018, and she is obsessed with DAOs. So we're very lucky when my sister and I, Noval, when we founded Blue DAO, we had Cyn review a funding proposal, and she is the reason why we have such a grandiose structure today, because she was truly the visionary for our DAO of DAOs structure. Let's all welcome Cyn.
Thank you, Amy. I need to bring you around everywhere with me so you can intro me to everybody. I'm going to take a cue from Amy and say, welcome, everybody. Probably don't pull that off as well as Amy, but I love her energy. So I gotta amp it up. I'm really excited to have everybody here and really excited to talk about social tokens today. So it's nice that I think there's a blend of different people, some who are interested in social tokens as a whole and learning about it generally, and then people who are interested in minting it. So just really awesome to have that blend of people. Amy, could you move to the next slide? Perfect. So what are social tokens exactly? Amy talked about this a little bit, but basically a social token is a cryptocurrency token that can be issued by an individual, a community, or a platform. And so these tokens, whether they're issued by a person, a community, or a platform, basically gives the token holder some kind of rights to that creator, platform, or the community. And so the reason that people or communities usually do this is for funding purposes, because they want to raise money for their initiatives. And then social tokens can also act as a gating access. So think of it almost like a membership card or a membership fee that's required before entry. And it can also be complete, meaning that you absolutely have to have those tokens to get access to that creator or that community or platform, or it can be partial, meaning you can get some of the benefits without holding the tokens. Social tokens can also be used to reward community members within a community or to encourage them to participate. Next slide, please, Amy. Great. Personal tokens. So these are also known as creator tokens, and they're usually issued by individuals. So these kind of personal tokens give some kind of access perk or benefit to the person that is holding it to that creator. So examples could be that if you have a social token of a creator, you might get free products, free giveaways, VIP access to events, etc. And by buying that token or holding that token, you're essentially investing in that person or that creator. The first social token was actually created in 2020 by somebody named Alex Mazmej. I'm probably butchering his name, but he created the Alex token and he raised $20,000 in Ethereum, which at the time was actually a lot. If he held on, he's probably done really well for himself, because in 2020 it was like $190 USD. So done pretty well. And interestingly enough, what he allowed people to do who held his tokens were to vote on different things, like what he did for the day or what he ate or what he wore. And he did make a comment that I'm probably not going to let my token investors decide who my girlfriend is. So that was pretty funny. And he did also give, or promise to give anyway, some of his income over the next 3 years to his token holders. So that was a really interesting first project. And as we've seen, like personal tokens have really exploded today, and primarily from creators, artists, whether it's like musicians, artists, actors, etc. And so this is basically a good way for creators to bootstrap their growth and their community early on in their career. And on the next slide, what I'll talk about is, this is basically a chart that was taken from the Social Token Bible. And what it shows is this increase in value of the token and utility over time relative to the growth of a community for personal tokens. So the idea is that early on in a creator's career, they don't have as much value and they're not producing as much content. And so they basically take earnings from the future and move it up to their initial community members so that they can bootstrap that growth initially. And the idea is that over time, the value of their token will go up as their personal branding increases as well. Next slide, please, Amy. So next we have community tokens. This is probably something that you guys are super familiar with. This is what BlueDAO is. And what community tokens offer is they basically give access to that community. And so as I mentioned earlier, gated access can be either partial or full. And community tokens can also be used as governance tokens. So this basically allows token holders and people in the community to vote on different initiatives. So as an example, if we wanted to say, should we go to ETH Paris? We could have community members vote on that because it's the community that decides what to do with the funds. And then finally, community tokens can be used to reward contributors and or encourage community participation. So again, that's another thing we're doing at BlueDAO. Contributors get access to our Blue OG tokens, which we've been airdropping. So if you are interested in becoming a contributor, let us know. We need more help. And then on the next slide, Amy. So what this chart shows is that usually what will happen in a community is initially, as you're trying to grow the community, the distribution of your tokens is high while the value is low. And so over time, as your community members contribute to that community, the value of those tokens will go up, and then you'll give less because those have increased in value. So you have this sort of inverse relationship over time of your token distribution. So for anyone who wants to start a community and wants to launch their own community token, keep in mind that in your tokenomics, this is one of the things that you'll want to watch out for. Next slide, please, Amy. Next, we have social token platforms. So these are basically tokens that you get for using different social token issuance platforms. Examples are Chiliz and Rally. I think most of you have probably heard of Rally. They're a pretty well-known creator platform for people to create personal tokens. And this underlying token usually will act as the currency and then also the governance token, so that anybody who holds those tokens will get a vote. And then the idea is that as the value of the social token social platform token goes up over time, then all of the holders get to appreciate or get to benefit from that increase in value as well, including the creators. Amy, next slide. Perfect, thank you. So we know why creators, communities, and platforms might want to issue tokens, but what exactly do token holders get? What are the benefits that they get from either holding or purchasing tokens? There's a lot of different reasons, and I think this is pretty personal, but here are sort of some general ones that we see a lot. So the first is financial upside. I think as Amy talked about a little bit earlier, that's what Web3 really enables, is this like financial inclusion, right? And so as a community member or as somebody who believes in a creator and you're adding value to that community, you should be able to get some of that upside as well. So that's really the power of Web3, because as somebody who contributes value, you get to participate and get part of that value. The second thing is access. So you get access to different communities, different content. So one of the things that we'll be doing at BlueDAO is just like this workshop, as a member, you get access to that. So you can see how valuable that becomes over time. Next, we have exclusivity. So for anybody who has been in the space for a while, you'll know that people tend to really like, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the word. They like to like show off different things, right? And so having, sorry? Flexing, thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, it's evening for me. Yes, they love to flex. And so having a social tokens that confer some kind of like VIP access or special exclusive benefits, then you can show that off. And I think that people love that kind of thing. Next,
tokens while you can.
That's right, exactly. Next is community. So I think this is actually really important. Yeah, no worries. So one of the ethos of Web3 is about having your tribe or finding the people who have similar values to you. And so by being a part of that community, you actually find your tribe, which I think is really powerful. Social tokens give you voting rights, as I mentioned earlier. So instead of Web 2, where you're part of a corporation or maybe an organization where you don't get a lot of say, by being a token holder, you actually get to influence the direction, which is pretty amazing because that's really democratizing who gets to be involved in something. And so you actually feel more ownership because you get to drive the direction of that initiative. And then finally, identity. I think having a token, whether that's represented as like a fungible token, like Ethereum, or an NFT, which is non-fungible, I think that says something about who you are. So there's a lot of communities who are very tribal, like the Bitcoin community is very tribal. They are a really tight-knit group. The BlueDAO community is a really tight-knit group, I think. And so you can start to see how this forms part of your identity, because I think everybody is like, in this group, probably like, oh, I'm part of BlueDAO, and we love to talk about that. So I think you can see how identity becomes a really, really powerful part of that benefit. Next slide, Amy. Oh, sorry, I skipped it. Yeah, there you go. So how do the value of social tokens go up? So first and foremost is the community. Your community members, because they have that shared vision and values, they're going to be the strongest advocates and strongest contributors to that value over time. So they will help do different things. They will advocate for you. They'll evangelize and bring other people in. So that really is the most powerful part of the growth of your tokens and the growth of your community. And like, I think that we see that very much in BlueDAO. Definitely drinking the Kool-Aid, obviously. I love BlueDAO, but we see how powerful our community is and how bringing everybody together really just is so powerful. Like everything that Amy and Novell and everybody else that was involved at LATAM really, launched 23 projects. So that was really amazing. Second is tokenomics. So I talked about this a little bit, and Noe will talk about this a little bit more, but tokenomics are really important to think about. This topic is quite complex, definitely not really something that we can go in depth in this presentation, but some of the things that you want to think about are supply. So whether that's total or fixed, the allocation, the distribution over time, your circulating supply versus your total supply, what the utility is, so what people can do with it, and then your liquidity. There's a lot more involved in tokenomics, but these are some of the foundational things that you want to think about. And then the market. So undisputably in the Web3 industry, the macroeconomic environment is really important to your token value. So usually in a bear market, tokens go down, in a bull market, tokens go up. And there's obviously fluctuations within that, but generally that's really how market conditions will affect your token. And then finally, product. So this is products or services. And what's interesting about Web3 is that you don't actually have to monetize, because as long as you're creating something that people think is valuable, then your token can go up. So as an example, Friends with Benefits, they don't actually create products or services, but because they do a lot of thought leadership and people really believe in the project, they think they're really cool, they're innovative, people believe in the value of that community going up over time. So you can see how there's different ways that your product and how people perceive your product can affect the value. And then finally, for anybody who is thinking about launching your community, here's just like a high level overview of how you want to approach it. So unlike Web 2, which is you go get funding, then you build a product and then you find users, Web 3 is sort of bottom up, and the opposite way. So you first find a community of amazing people like the people here, people who are really passionate and have a shared vision and mission, and then bring those people together. You fund the mission, and then you coordinate with them, and then you deliver on the results that you want. And you can see that kind of in action with Blue DAO. So definitely, yeah, I think we're doing a really good job here. And then Amy, I will pass that back over to you.
All right, I meant to unmute myself. How do I do this? All right, there you go. Thank you, Sim. That was very informational. I think that was a good overview of what social tokens are. If you guys have any questions, stay tuned to the very last session. But for now, we have our first polling question. Noe, can you please release our first polling question?
All right, this is my first time launching a poll, folks, so let's hope it goes well. I think it's pretty straightforward, but we'll see.
Yeah, I see it. Do you own any social tokens? All right, so Sin did a really good overview. Answer what you have. I think once we have over 80%, we should release
Okay,
it.
come on, guys, we're inching there, 73%. I know we can do it. Just a few more folks.
For some reason, I can't answer. I don't know if other folks are facing the same issues. So,
It might be because you and I are logging in from the.
okay.
All right, we're at 80%, so I'm going to end the poll, and I hope everyone can see the results.
All right, let's look at what our audience looks like today. Don't own any yet. Well, we have to fix that because all you guys need to get blue tokens. So it seems like 35% community tokens. Wow, 5% personal tokens. Very curious who those people are. Platform tokens, and then don't own any yet. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. I see Swede putting your hand up.
I have a social token called Suede,
Ah,
or personal token.
wonderful. Well, by the end of this session, all of you can mint your own name. So this will be exciting. So it is exciting to mint and launch your very own social token, which is a type of cryptocurrency. Can you imagine having a cryptocurrency that you own, that you created? Very exciting. So it is important, though, to note the rules of the game. So we chose to dig deep and not very deep, dig a little bit to look at US regulation and what the SEC is saying about the rules of the game. The reason why we picked US is because most organizations are headquartered and based out of the US, right? US do drive global economy, and a lot of corporations are founded in even the crypto industry. A lot of our crypto projects are based out of the US, and a lot of the crypto industry follows the direction that US is following. So paying close attention to US rules is a good first step. And we all know that this year, crypto regulations will be a priority for our government. So understanding the US law is a good place to start. And when it comes to tokens, you can mint it whenever you want, but listing it on an exchange is a different story. So what counts as a security? I will let Joe explain that to you. But before I bring him on, I would love to introduce Joseph Monastery, also known as Butterflies in Space Joe, and the author of the poetry book Butterflies in Space, which he will be releasing on the blockchain, and currently has an NFT series that runs across multiple blockchains with more blockchains to come. I wonder how many that's going to be, Joe. 100? He traveled to If Denver to pitch his book, and that's where he found us, Blue DAO, because that's where we launched, and he will be a speaker in NFT New York City in June, so be on the watch out for Joe. So we met Joe in East Denver, and he showed us a book of butterflies and poem, and right off the bat, we knew he was meant to be a blue butterfly. He loved our mission so much that he literally dyed his dog blue. Like, he now has a blue dog. That's what Cynthia was saying. We all love blue. Because when you get to know us, we really, really just truly stand for our mission and we're like family. So Joe, we're so happy to have you and have you join us. Sam is the head of DAOs and head of Growth for Harmony, and he taught us the definition of a DAO and how a DAO should function, and that it should be always coming from the contributor, that it is permissionless. Anybody can always just put your hands up and like support. And Joe has been very active in our Telegram channel, and we were like, Joe, we need help to put this workshop together. And immediately he just like jumped right in. Even though he had long hours at work, he was so ready to help out. So thank you, Joe, for coming on. Let's bring you on.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. Okay, so compliance and regulatory considerations. Before I start, I'm just going to reiterate that what we said in the beginning, that none of us are
Lawyers.
so it's best it's best practice to consult a lawyer and specialists when dealing with this type of stuff. And so yeah, and a lot of that stuff is going to be very text heavy, so it's going to be a little bit rough while I'm talking about it, but yeah. So here we go. So what is a security? The term security refers to a fungible, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. Oftentimes these are stocks, bonds, or examples of these stocks, bonds, stuff like those types of things. Securities are fungible and tradable financial instruments used to raise capital in public and private markets. There are primarily three types of securities. Equities, which provide ownership rights to holders. Those would be your stocks, and debt, which is loans repaid with periodic payments. Those would be your government bonds, and other types of bonds, and hybrids, which combine aspects of both debts and equities. Public sales of securities are regulated by the SEC. What is the SEC? The SEC is the Securities Exchange Commission. Next slide, Amy. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is an independent federal government regulatory agency responsible for protecting investors, maintaining fair and orderly functioning of the security markets, and facilitating capital formation. The SEC is really important in this because they are the ones who provide oversight for securities, and currently at the current state of things, they're the ones who provide oversight when it comes to crypto regulation. And so it's really important to follow the news, follow the keep up to date with things, because things are going to change very quickly as regulations come in. And back in 2017, the SEC did rule that the sale of DAO tokens in exchange for ETH violated federal security laws. And instead of taking enforcement action, the SEC essentially warned that security laws applied to token sales. Just basically firing a warning shot to the cryptocurrency community. So it's that right there is it already is stating that they are getting ready to regulate, and regulations are coming. So keep your eyes open. And that brings us to the Howey test. Next slide, Amy. So the Howey test refers to a Supreme Court case for determining whether a transaction qualifies as an investment contract and therefore will be considered a security, and thus subject to the security laws. So the security, the Howey test has four rules, 4 questions, and those questions are: is it an investment of money? Is it in a common common enterprise? Is it with the expectation of profit? And is that to be derived from the effort of others? All four of those questions need to be answered in uniform, and they would have to for it to be declared a security. And so essentially, if it's yes to all four of those questions, it would be deemed a security. So when it comes to an investment, according to the SEC, the investment of money test is easily satisfied with the sale of digital assets, because fiat money or other digital assets are being exchanged. And likewise, the same thing, that same answer the same question, the same thing is also the same test. That same response is also met for the common enterprise test, because if it's being exchanged for money, it follows that same set of rules. So that answers those first two. Whether so in regards to the third question, expectation of profit, in most cases, whether a digital asset qualifies as an investment contract largely turns on whether there is an expectation of profit to be derived from the efforts of others. So that right there is questions 3 and 4. So, for example, the purchasers of a digital asset may be relying on the efforts of others if they depend on the project's backers to develop and maintain the digital network, especially in the early stages. Instead of these tests being performed by dispersed community of unaffiliated users, this test is also met if the project backers take steps to support the price of the digital asset, such as by creating scarcity through token burning. Another way the efforts of others test is met is if the project's backers continue to act in a managerial role. And these are just a few examples of different things that to answer these questions about the Howey test. The best advice I can give is go when in doubt, ask a specialist, and consult. Best practice is also just to consult a lawyer anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Joe, for that. So next time, if someone asks you, how do I know if my token is a security? The answer is the Howey test. The Howey test, this is the 4 questions. And all of you, if you're going to mint your tokens, make sure you know those 4 questions at the back of your head, because if you don't, and your token counts as a security, then you need to have like a lot of hassle to do a lot of disclosures, right? So if you think about people launching an equity in the stock market, the investment is when you're selling a token. So for us DAOs, how does that apply to us, right? If let's say we're selling a token and the token is meant to give you access to like a platform or give you access to a workshop, then it's not an investment, right? Because you're buying something for utility. Common enterprise, if we're decentralized, we're not common enterprise. However, the reality of DAOs today, a lot of us start off with centralized founding team and governors, so we are not truly decentralized. But at what point does it count as being decentralized? All these are still questions that are vague and it's hard to answer for our industry. Is there an expectation of profit? If you sell a token and you're like, well, you're going to make money after buying this token, then it's like really a security. And what does it mean as effort of others? Like Joe said, if like, for instance, if you're buying, if I put money into a bond, right, in traditional market, and now this bank is investing the money for me, and now they give me a return, but I am relying on the effort of the bank team to make money for me. So in the DAO setting, we are the owner is the employee, and the employee is the user. So it's very good when DAOs create themselves. The token is not just a membership, but you're also putting in sweat equity, and you can basically say, listen, we're decentralized and we're putting out the sweat equity. So how is this effort of others? It is my effort. Right. So there's just some things to think about course, there are a lot of questions out there, and just bear in mind that every country have a different rule set, different set of regulations. So at Blue DAO, we are now launching our regionals. We just launched Blue Latam because we realized that each region have a different rule set. And when you're part of our Blue DAO Alliance, we'll be putting together a group of very intelligent Blue advisors where we're sourcing for lawyers in the crypto space, and we got your back. You know, if you have all these questions, come to Blue DAO and we'll be happy to support you when we have those Blue advisors. So while we're not lawyers and we're not the US government, this is a perfect epitome of what it means to be decentralized learning and research. So thank you so much for that, Joe. Okay, so now that we know what some of the rules might be, what are some things that we should think about tokenomics? Up next, I would love to welcome our very own Noe Brooks. Noe is the founder and CEO of Invest and Indulge, an info hub that supports women in their best investment, which is themselves. I believe that too. She was one of our Eve Denver Blue Scholar, and she was truly one of our silent heroes that led the logistics team. And when we had a COVID breakout for some of the people, she made sure that that case was taken care right away. And she's the reason we all could sleep comfortably at night, every night in Denver, while the rest of us was partying hard. So, and then Noe, coming out of Denver, she has been obsessed learning. And I just found out she was in Bitcoin Miami. She signed up to be, signed up for a course with Token Engineering Academy and Unit Masters. She is an investor and now an editorial director for Journey to Wealth's Crypto Corner newsletter. Let's all welcome Noe.
Thank you, Amy, for that great intro. And hi, everyone. So I promise we're going to get to minting right after this slide, just a few more minutes while we go through a little talk about tokenomics. So this brief intro addresses just a few of the factors to consider before minting your token. As was said before, speak with a tokenomics pro to ensure the best decisions for your community and your token. We're going to first start with token design. So the first questions to ask are, what will this token do and what will its total initial supply be? There isn't a one-size-fits-all answer, but there are some essential considerations. Here are two models, each with pros and cons. The first is the fixed supply model. This model defines the exact number of tokens you want beforehand. Say it's 10 million. They're minted and received directly into a wallet. And then there's the bonding curve model. In this case, someone must buy a token to create it. Theoretically, the token's price increases along with the supply or distribution of the token. The more tokens that have been distributed, the higher the price. This brings us to distribution. Community leaders need to think about how to distribute tokens to contributors as an incentive to help the project grow. You'll need to decide what percentage of the supply should go into the treasury, to stakeholders, as a retroactive airdrop, as a vested treasury, and so on. Then we come to financials. The token's price and its volatility are vital components of tokenomics. How can you manage the stability of your token so people are still motivated to collaborate? A token that gains value, both social and financial, will attract top talent and incentivize the community to become contributors. What gives a token its value? A social token created on a fixed supply has no real value, right? You could have millions of the token you just minted, and you couldn't use it to buy anything. So at some point, communities look to add liquidity, allowing anyone to buy the token in exchange for other cryptocurrencies with monetary value. This allows your token to potentially gain value, and this money can be used to make your community grow. Finally, there's vesting. Investing is a part of financials. It's a way to control volatility. It involves locking a certain amount of tokens over a period. When tokens are vested, the owner of those tokens can't withdraw them and must wait until the vesting period ends. Thanks to the blockchain tech, specifically smart contracts, it's easy to lock a certain amount of funds until contract conditions are met. Hopefully, this peek under the hood of tokenomics provides some insight on the things you'll need to think about. Amy, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Noe. Yes, we are putting together a tokenomics task force as well as we figure out our very own blue tokenomics. So if anyone is interested, we're happy to have you join. In fact, the way that we structure our DAO is truly like decentralized. We have different functions, different regions, different line of service, different subject matter expert, and whatever that interests you, please let us know what you would like to join. We just started one for Treasury and DeFi, and within 15 minutes, I felt like I learned so much about the DeFi industry. So just signing up for this different mini hubs is truly going to help you level up in the Web3 space and give you the support and find nerds like yourselves in that particular subject. Can we launch our second polling question, please? All right, let's see how good your listening skills are. Pop quiz.
It's not showing up, Amy. I don't think.
Yeah, it's not. Hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. Here we go, peeps.
Okay, how many questions are there on the Howey test? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, guys, pop quiz. Well, airdrop tokens if you get this right. Just kidding. I don't have the ability to airdrop tokens. We're working on that. We're working on the ability to airdrop tokens. How are the answers rolling in, Noe?
We're almost at 80.
Okay, come on, guys. Quick, quick.
Yeah, 1 or 2 people. We're like almost there.
Arriba, arriba. I hope I didn't butcher that. Is it the right word? Arriba?
Only if you're Speedy Gonzalez.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because we're not budging. So here we go. We're almost there.
Yay! 87% got it right. So the rest of you, what is the 4? It was investment, right? What is the second?
Common
Common
enterprise.
enterprise.
Common
Yeah.
enterprise. What is the third?
Expectation of profit.
Yes, expectation of profit. And the 4th?
Effort of others.
Yes, effort of others. Oh, I'm so proud. You guys are great students. Okay, so coming up next, now that you have learned what social tokens are, what are some regulations to consider, and some sneak peek and initial ideas of tokenomics, who is ready to mint their tokens? Yeah, coming up next, I would love and so honored to bring up Randy Gomez. Oh my God, Randy, she's been a superstar. Randy is now our Blue DAO onboarding lead and a founding member of Blu3. She's a founder and CEO of the Academy of Young Leaders, an educational academy providing the fundamental skills necessary to make educated decisions that will empower young adults to select a career path and be a positive contributor to society. Randy has been a longtime award-winning educator, awarded prestigious awards such as Chairman Award and President's Award during her time at Berkeley College in various senior leadership roles. She was accepted as one of our Eve Denver Scholars, but couldn't make it due to scheduling. And since then, she's just been enthusiastically asking to help lead something for Blue DAO. And as you guys know, we went from Denver straight to Rio, and I was like, Randy, Blue DAO is not ready for you. But then right off the bat, when Blu3 happened, she was so quick to jump on. There are already like over 50 members now. They have social medias everywhere and onboarding. Like, she's just a powerhouse, and we're so lucky to have Randy on our core team. Let's bring on Randy.
Thank you for the intro. My goodness, Cynthia, you were not kidding. We should just like bring her around in our back pocket. Like, the intro, please. No, but so excited to be here with you guys tonight, and you know everyone is ready to mint their tokens. And by the way, we have 103 members in Blue Latam. So,
Oh, wow.
Latino Africa, we are representing. And ¿a dónde están los Latinos, right? So, yes. So let's go straight into our demo video, Amy, because everyone is really excited about minting their tokens, and we want to make sure that happens ASAP.
Okay. Can you hear this? Hi, everyone. Welcome to a demo video on how to mint your social tokens. I am Amy Sun from Blu3.
And I am Randy from Blue Onboarding DAO. Today, we're going to show you how to add the Math Wallet extension to your Chrome browser and how to send over your one tokens from your MetaMask to your newly installed Math Wallet. But before we get started, I want to make sure you verify that you have one tokens on your MetaMask, because we're going to need those to transfer over to Math and to pay the gas fees.
That's correct. And then from there, I will take it over and show you how to mint your first set of tokens on rip.io platform. Are we ready to get started?
Yes, I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you guys so we can go over the steps one at a time. The first step is to go on to the Math Wallet. To the Math Wallet website, you're going to see different options. The options that we're selecting is the extension, and we're going to select Chrome browser. We've already tried this on other browsers and we're not successful, so we would suggest just going ahead and selecting the Chrome browser. Okay, and then we're going to select Add to Chrome, Add extension. So the wallet should upload fairly quickly. Alrighty, so once your wallet is fully installed, you'll see that the extension pops up on the top right of your screen. And what you're gonna do is go ahead and pin it so it can be easy for you to access later. So pin your wallet, and we can go ahead and click on our new Math Wallet. Okay, so it's going to prompt you to create a password. So once you select your password, you can click create, and you are creating your new wallet. So the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that we jump onto the Harmony network before we create the wallet. So we're going to go over to the settings wheel, and we're going to click on networks, and we're going to scroll down to activate the Harmony network. So it is fairly down the list, so you can continue to scroll. And you're going to move over the cursor so it appears as green, and click back to networks, click back again, and then you are going to select switch network. Once you select switch network, the Harmony network should appear, and you can select it, and we can get started. So once you're at this point, you're going to go ahead and select the add symbol to create a wallet. And of course, you can name your wallet whatever you like. We're going to name it Blue Blue. And of course, never share your secret seed. All right, so once that is all set, before we can send over our one token from our MetaMask to our newly created Math Wallet, we're gonna have to select the wallet address, copy it, and we're going to have to convert it on the Harmony Blockchain Explorer. We're gonna have to convert it to an ETH wallet address so we can easily send over the one tokens. So you're going to plug in the address on the search bar, and then you're gonna select ETH, and it's going to convert it. And you can simply copy it onto your clipboard, and then you can go ahead and go onto your MetaMask. All right, On your MetaMask, make sure that you have the Harmony network already selected, as you can see, and that you select the right network and the right wallet. And then you're going to send your tokens on to your new wallet. So we always recommend that you test it out, send one token before you proceed to make sure that you receive it on your new wallet. And we're going to confirm. Okay. And then we're going to go back to our newly created wallet to make sure our funds are there. So we're going to go ahead and select web wallet so we can confirm that we received those funds, and we're going to log in. And it's going to show us what activity we have. Select your newly created wallet, blue, accept. And we're going to be able to, yes, and we see that we have our 1 token.
I now have Reptile on here loaded. I have my Math wallet here. So taking off from what Randy just showed you, that's my wallet. The way for you to connect it is to hit login. Select that wallet that you just created with the 1 tokens and accept. And now that you see, I have my 1 addresses here with my balance. That means it's connected and we're ready to rumble. Go to create token. And you want to type in your new token name, and we decided it was blue with blue, let's call it 48, token decimals of 18, a total supply, something typical would be 10 million, 10, 1, 2, 3, 3, 10. Then hit next. Just confirm that this is the token name and the token symbol that you want to use for your social tokens, and hit submit. Accept that contract creation. And there you go. We have just minted your first set of social tokens. You want to ensure that you copy this contract address, because this address will be the contract for your tokens. And here's the transaction hash if you want to just confirm and check. Looks like the contract worked, and I have my tokens on the Harmony blockchain. Now that you have minted your fresh supply of 10 million tokens, you want to make sure that you copy all of this information so you can access the smart contract and the transaction hash and the contract address to your tokens. So this is very important to save. Copy that. Make sure you save a copy of that. This is your ABI code, smart contract code. Yep. Then, so what I'll be doing next is, now that I have 10 million tokens under my Math wallet, so I'm the owner of all 10 million, you could either transfer all 10 million to your MetaMask wallet or send some tokens to your favorite new friend. So I will be doing that to send some to Randy. I input into the contractor, which brings you to the next page. And what you want to do is to say, now I can call this blue 49 save. And so now I have it saved into my rip.io for easy access. And once I am here, and select it, read contract, and this is how you can start to interact with your tokens on the blockchain. So I want to send some tokens to Randy. She has sent me her MetaMask address. All right, so I just sent 10,000 new Blue tokens to Randy, and in order for her to be able to see this in her MetaMask, I have to send her the contract address for this tokens. Copy this. And so just to make her life easier, I'm gonna convert it into ETH address because that's what MetaMask takes. So you go to explorer.harmony.one. I copied that one address and pasted it here. And this is the ETH. Right here, it's the ETH address for my new smart contract for my tokens. So I copied that and I go into my chat and send it new blue 49 fresh. So now, Randy, you can grab that.
So I'm in my MetaMask account and I'm connected to the Harmony mainnet network, as you can see, and I'm in assets. So I'm going to click on import tokens because I've already copied, and now I'm pasting, as you can see, blue 49 address, and I'm gonna go ahead and add custom token. Yay, now I have 10,000 tokens. I'm gonna go ahead and import my tokens, and I'm 10,000 tokens richer.
FYI, guys, because Rip.io will be decommissioned April 17, just try your best to send all of the supply into your MetaMask so that you'll still be able to send it around once Rip.io ends. I hope you enjoyed this demo video. If you have any questions, we're available on the Discord channel under Token Creators. Have fun!
Thanks, bye-bye.
Amazing.
Randy, how long did it take us to record that demo video?
Oh, just 10 minutes, quick and easy.
We took like 3 to 4 hours to record that video. I think we should share the blooper. It was hilarious. But
Yes,
thank you so much, Randy. I think that's gonna help a lot of people. Before we go to the next slide, we want to ask you a polling question. So Noe, please go ahead and launch the next polling question. And while you do that, just FYI, Rip.io will be decommissioned April 17. So you guys have less than 5 days to mint your tokens for free. What will you do with your newly minted tokens? Not sure. I'm gonna airdrop them. I'm gonna sell them. Top secret. Okay, how are the answers rolling in?
We're at 65%.
Okay, let's go ahead and publish that.
Top secret.
What is this? Come on, sharing is caring. We want to hear what you guys are up to so we can learn from each other. We're open source. This is Web3.
I guess the upside is most people are sure what they're doing with them. They're just not telling us. There weren't too many not sures.
Yeah, if you want to sell them, just make sure you pay attention to securities law. That that's a little tricky. We're trying to figure out ourselves too, but I think if it's a clear utility where someone's buying for access to something, that might be okay. But I'm not a lawyer, so make sure you consult with a lawyer. And then if you want to airdrop them, right now Rip.io does not have that functionality, so we're hoping to release that. Boom, boom, boom. We have an announcement to make. Blue3 is going to create our very own social token minting issuance platform where you can mint and issue your own tokens and airdrop and distribute to your favorite members in your community. And maybe, actually, yes, you will be able to burn your tokens as they redeem it. We're still figuring out what that DApp is going to look like. So announcement, you guys are getting the alpha right here. We'll be releasing a bounty with Harmony in collaboration because we want to create a simple, easy to use for all of our DAOs. As you guys know, we will be launching 1,000 DAOs. Harmony is launching 10,000 DAOs. So we want to support and create something that's easy for us to manage our tokens for our communities. If you guys are a developer or you know any talented developers who might be interested, send them our way. It will be on Harmony's main bounty platform. Social token resources. So Randy, this session was great, but I need more information. Where can I go next?
Absolutely, we have you. So as if recording a 10-minute tutorial for 4 hours is not enough, we actually also put together a Notion page filled with amazing resources, not only a step-by-step instruction with print screens, but we also shared additional links where you guys can start educating yourself on what tokenomics is, and more information where you can stay up to date with what's going on with this industry. So we are going to be sharing the Notion page via email. We're going to send you guys the link. In addition, we're going to be publishing the YouTube video within 24 hours. So you guys can jump to our YouTube channel. And of course, we got to do a YouTube giveaway.
YouTube channel.
Yes, yes, yes. It is going live and you guys are going to have first dibs. So we are really asking for your feedback. We want to hear from you when you go on to our YouTube channel. And I know right now I'm going to feel like a YouTuber. Please like, comment, subscribe.
And
when you go to,
and hit that notification bell.
Hit
yes,
hit that notification bell or these butterflies are going to stop flapping their wings.
Yes, yes, yes. Please do. So we want to hear from you guys, right? We want to hear, what do you guys want to see on the app? What do you guys want to see? What kind of functions do you want for your tokens? So we can develop this specifically with your request, with you in mind. So please engage with us via YouTube and like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. Do all of them. And we are going to be announcing a winner who is going to have full access to the DApp as soon as it is launched. So you're going to have full access to it for free. So we're really excited about that, collaborating with the community, with the DAOs, to make sure that we're creating something by us, for us, right? So thank you again for joining. I'm going to hit it back over to Amy and you guys to wrap up tonight's event. Thank you again. Hope you guys had fun.
Thank you, Randy. You guys are amazing. The link is already in the chat. You should be able to see it. And yeah, you'll have a few days. Make sure you guys mint your tokens on rip.io. If not, it's going to be decommissioned and you're on your own for a while until we have our DApp. Want to hear your experience from using it, and then comment on our YouTube. We're gonna pick 3 lucky winners for full access to our DApp for free. Everyone else has to pay. And let us know what functionalities you want to use, because like Randy said, you know, we want to create something for us, by us. Okay, now everyone can come offline and ask me anything or ask us anything. Stop.
Okay, we need a group picture.
Oh yeah, definitely need a group picture. Thank you for that, Randy. Before we ask questions, can we all please come off and put our beautiful faces on camera so we can do photos? This is my sister's favorite part, so I'm gonna let her take the photo for us. And I want to also introduce my co-founder, Novello, my beloved sister and Screaming Fast partner.
Hi guys.
And say a word or two before we take a photo.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see all of you guys. Ooh, techno coins. And yeah, so Amy is my sister, but I'm not as crazy as her, so I'm the more mellow one. But so good to see everyone. So Amy, you need to take one on your computer too, because you may have glare. Just
okay.
All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Oops, hang on. Okay, because we have 2 pages, the second page now. Ooh, ooh. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Nice.
I need to take the second one too. One more time. Give me 1 second. 1, 2, smile. Okay, I got the second one too.
All right, guys. This is so good to see all of you guys. And Amy, do you have any questions, or do you want to open up the floor?
Yeah, we're opening up the floor, so please go ahead and raise your digital hand, and we're gonna take questions until 9:30 p.m.
Looks like Ganesh. Yeah, he has his hand raised.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, sorry, I came in a little late, but I clicked on the YouTube link. There's no content on there as of now. on the Blu3 DAO. So when do you? Okay. All right.
What are you talking about? There's a lot of
All right. Okay.
No, just kidding. We literally just created the account.
Okay.
We are working with a marketing lead based out of Pakistan. So she will start to load some videos in the morning for us. It's a
Gotcha.
turnaround, different time zones. And then we'll be sure to post the recording of this session on that YouTube.
Oh, perfect. Oh, okay, that's exactly what I was curious about. So thank you. I really wanted to go through it. So
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Actually, thanks for asking that too, because there are a lot of frauds on YouTube. So please be careful. A lot of fake accounts are on YouTube and they pretend to do giveaways. So make sure you always check that it's the legit account. Xin Ying Ang.
Hi. Oops. Hey. Can you hear me? I think this question is probably either for Noe or probably Amy. Now you guys talk about the tokenomics, about the fixed supply, and the other one I sort of kind of slip out my mind. Would you explain a little bit more deeper about that? Like, let's say I want to launch a social token now. I'm launching 10 million, for example. Like, what does that mean that initially there's only 10 million, and then later on, how do you have initial supply, just 10 million, and then what makes it go to maybe in the future more supply? Or like, what's it different to mint 10 million and then just have it fixed, or have it a little bit more in a later on, if I phrase the question correctly. I don't know, you mentioned that fixed probably it's not really a benefit to do that, or maybe I'm understanding it wrong. I'm very new to the tokenomics, just trying to understand a little bit more.
So I think I'll let Amy take it, but it really depends on what you want to do with your token. And if you are going to release 10 million at the outset, it doesn't have any value. So that's why that's why you would invite in liquidity or have a liquidity pool, so you can begin to give it some value by inviting other cryptocurrency or users to start purchasing it with something that is valuable.
So let's say
What I am going to do is add a resource list, so that will provide you some more information, and that's on the Notions page.
I'm happy to take that question too. So you want to think about the supply curve of your tokens, right? So think about why US dollar, why did Bitcoin started in the first place? It's because they started printing previously, and it's just like unlimited supply as if, right? So you want to think about, like, now you're literally creating your own currency, well, your own cryptocurrency. How do you want that supply curve of your tokens in the market versus the demand for those tokens? Fixed supply is an easy way to start. You can always replace your tokenomics if your community votes for it. So like, that's how our blue tokens were created. We call it Blue OG with the intention to replace with a more sophisticated tokenomics curve. When you go on rip.io, and apologize for the siren, it's New York City. When you go on rip.io, there are several supply curves. I think Token Jenny has it too. You can start out with like a fixed supply, or you can start out with an unlimited supply, or you can start out with, like, even with Bitcoin, we all know that they have a halving event, right? About every 4 years, the supply gets reduced by half. Like, there are a lot of sophisticated ways to think of your supply curve. It can be time-based, it can be based on number of users, it can be based on number of volume using. I know Ethereum doesn't have a limited supply, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so those are some things to consider. And when you mint your tokens, you can also start out with like a total distribution of, say, 100 million, and maybe you release 10 million on the onset. And then maybe you release another 10 million every year, or you release another 10 million when your members 100x. I am not a tokenomics expert by any means, so that's just some initial thoughts. Sin, you might have a little more idea than I do.
Yeah, I think this is a really complicated topic, and I think that maybe the best thing, not because I don't want to answer your questions, I think just like without giving you guys a clear picture of all of the things and having just one piece of information, you might have misconceptions. So I think maybe a follow-up, or like
I don't think you think this is a lot more deeper. Yeah, like tokenomics, I know it's a lot very complicated, but I'm just curious. But no, I totally understand. I like the basic now. It's like the fix, because at first I didn't know that could be like a fix, and or like well, I thought once you launch, you have to launch everything, but it's good to know that you can initially launch like 10 million first, and then once you reach something and then you launch it again. So that's good information for now to start off.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
it's also not just about launching. You can also burn them. So a lot of protocols has like slashing abilities. Like if you use them, you burn them, which reduces the supply and it helps control inflation, which is what Harmony has. Harmony has a very stable inflation curve. But token engineering, which is on our resource page, they have a whole academy for tokenomics and token engineering. So if you guys want to dig deep into that, I recommend going to token engineering. But good question, Shane.
Before we get to Ganesh, it looks like Sabrina put a question in the chat. What is the biggest difficulty of a DAO? That would be for Amy and Novell.
I have the answer, but I'm gonna let Novell go.
What's the difficult thing? Right? Is that the question?
What is a biggest difficulty of a DAO?
I think the biggest challenge, a few things. One thing is coordination, right? Because right now we're all coming from different places, okay? And to do something like a DAO, not many people understand it yet, first of all. And second, there are not a lot of effective DAO toolings. It's still very, very new. So coordinating that whole effort is challenging. So that's one. And then the second thing I would say is that monetizing, right? Like DAOs need to be self-sustainable. So you need to have a way to really think about DAO as like as a business, okay? But the mission is focused on the community. So you have to be very smart about thinking where you're going to get the funding initially and how are you going to self-sustain. Very, very important. And then the third thing I would say is how do you retain your community? Yeah. Sometimes it is easy for DAOs to start, but very, very quickly, they may lose the hype. So how do you stay engaged with your community? And I think that's the one thing for me personally that we're trying to create, not trying, we are creating for Blue DAO. Like all of the people over here, a lot of you guys know us and you know why you're here at Blue DAO. So that's what I personally feel, so.
I want Sin to go on because Sin is leading our DAO and social token DAO. She is our DAO expert. What do you think, Sin? What is our most difficult challenge as DAOs?
I think coordination and sort of like bringing people together in the Web3 space. We have a saying that like 1 month is like a year in the regular world. And so things move really fast. So as a DAO, if you're decentralized, if you have people from all over the world at different time zones, how do you bring everybody together to be on the same page, coordinate, be effective, and make sure that you're not duplicating efforts or have misinformation or old information? So I think that's definitely really challenging. And then I think compensation is really tough because there's two things. Oh my gosh, I could talk for hours about this, but there's like two elements to compensation and performance management. There's like the quantitative stuff and then there's the qualitative stuff. So you might, if let's say for example, you are a DAO lead, I could be like, oh, I'm gonna go and like help launch 100 DAOs, but maybe those DAOs are really crap, or like all the DAO leaders hate me. Like I haven't done a good job, but I could technically check it off. And so as a DAO, like how do you actually do that in a scalable manner without it being super manual, and it's automated and transparent so that everybody agrees up front and knows what the conditions are, so that both sides, both the contributor and like the DAO have agreed to what like how you would get ranked on that, so that when you are compensated for it, everybody feels like it's fair and it's transparent because you were part of deciding that up front.
Yeah, I think that's the right point. I even like right now trying to decide how we manage our Blue DAO is like, okay, I want to be transparent about people's compensation and performance, but also I want to be sensitive of people's privacy and like, how do we manage that? That's a great plug for our next event, which is tomorrow morning. Is it 10:15 a.m.? Is Lana on the call? Lana, when is our first DAO Alliance call? Is Lana still on? We might have lost her.
Yeah, I have it on the calendar for tomorrow morning. And that's exactly what I was going to say. 10:30 a.m. our DAO Alliance.
Eastern time.
Eastern
Mhm.
time. So we're kicking off our DAO Alliance Mastermind, basically to talk about everything DAO, challenges, DAO tooling, DAO support, DAO love, Daoist. And that will start tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. The way to get the Zoom link will be in a Blue DAO Telegram, but we also have a DAO Alliance chat in a Discord. All right. Coming up next, Ganesh, do you have a question?
Yeah, Novell kind of answered this question, but I was just hoping she could, Novell, I was hoping you could repeat it again. Just the definition of a DAO. Like you said it very clearly. I was just hoping you could just repeat it again for me. Thank you.
So DAO is like a decentralized autonomous organization, right?
Really?
The way I would look at it is that it's kind of like a company, but it's very mission focused, very community focused. Okay. And it's a much flatter organization and much more transparent. So if you compare that to a traditional organization, was usually a pyramid,
Hierarchy.
right? Like very, very hierarchy. You can't really say anything, right? You can't tell them what your true feelings are about things. You can't really freely give suggestions. You have to care so much about the politics, and the people above make the few decisions.
Got it.
Yep. And DAO is almost the exact opposite way, right? Where it is decentralized. So you don't really have one person that is fully making all of the key decisions, but it's mainly from the community.
Got it.
And one important thing to note is that while that is the ultimate state of a DAO, it takes a while to get to be fully decentralized.
Right. It first starts off like in a centralized fashion, and then slowly, as you build trust and also a community, then it blossoms into a decentralized community.
Well, it's not a one size fit all. Everyone runs their DAO differently. We're all actually trying to just throw something at the wall and let's see what sticks. So some DAOs start out centralized, like MakerDAO took them maybe 5 years to be fully decentralized, and then some other DAOs start out decentralized and they're having a hard time doing anything. Bitcoin, like Bitcoin is truly decentralized and they can't even get one thing passed. Right. So there are challenges on both ends. It's almost like a spectrum, and you have to figure out like what is your happy medium, or what is your goal, what is your mission, and what does that look like for your DAO?
Right. And in the DAO, do you initially start off with like, okay, I'm just thinking like a corporate Fortune 500 company, right? They have like a board of directors, right? And the CEO sits down with the board of directors and goes through the like the finances and all that. Hey, we're doing healthy, guys, or we're losing money. And they basically, is there someone kind of governing the DAO? Does that make sense at all? Like I know everybody is quote like equal on an equal footing, but there's got to be some guy or gal that's just kind of like, hey guys, we're having a quarterly meeting here and we're going to go over our, the books, just see if we, we got any financial, just make sure that the books are good. We got some rules pending that need to be approved and all that. So that's
I can't speak for other DAOs, but I think that's mainly the signatories' responsibility or the governors. So DAOs will have multi-sigs. Are you familiar what multi-sigs are, Ganesh?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm coming into this fresh.
Beautiful. You are our target market for Blue DAO. It's new people, caterpillars that want to blossom into Web3 butterflies.
Yeah.
So multi-sigs are called multi-signatures. Your wallet in the Web3 world, like MetaMask, is just one person. I'm sending money around. It's just me, right? But a multi-sig is a wallet that requires multiple signatures for something to be approved. So, for example, if you have 9 governors or 9 signatories in a DAO, it's up to you to set 2 out of 9 to approve something, or 5 out of 9, or 8 out of 9. And the governors of they're basically the money guards, or they guard the money, the treasury for the DAO. So they handle the financial responsibility of, and it's up to the DAO how they want to run it, right? Let's say they put out a proposal. So like, for example, Blue DAO, okay? We have 1 million in funding, and we decide how do we want to best serve our community, how do we want to grow our money or spend it, and someone and Noe goes, I want us to go to Eve Kenya because let's launch Africa and like help them do something. And I think we should spend $1 million on this trip. So she puts a proposal on there, and then the community can vote through Snapshot, which is off chain, or some Aragon is on chain. There are different DAO toolings out there. Community will vote and blah blah blah, and then they're like, no, 1 million is too much. Let's just start off with $50,000, right? So once the community reaches consensus, then they will be like, okay, let's send Eve Kenya conference, whatever, spend $100,000, and the governors will be like, okay, this is what the community says. Let's all release this funding. So then Novell or Cindy, who is helping us manage our treasury, they'll request a transaction and like, hey guys, let's send 100,000 to this wallet so that we can launch this trip. Then we need 5 out of 9 to approve that transaction.
Okay, and it almost reminds me like the Federal Reserve, right? You have governors from all parts of the country, and then they sit together and discuss monetary policy, and then like they're elected by the like
community,
by the community, right? And then they say, okay, hey, we need to dish out more supply. Oh no, we need to cut. We need to stop inflation. We need to cut supply, blah blah blah, right? Okay, and then last question.
I just want to I want to add one thing over there. So what Amy said earlier on is more about safeguarding the assets of the treasury so that you don't have fraud, right? Like Amy just can't run away, with $10 million in the treasury. The other thing is that it's more of a governance tokens. So basically, this is where you're saying, okay, who has some DAOs have governance tokens. What it means is that if you have governance tokens, think about your shareholders. Yeah, in Web2 world, they have a say to vote in things.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of like it's kind of like a stock. If you own a stock, you check off whether you approve the CEO, the CFO, blah blah blah. And
correct.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Got it.
And last question, and I'll yield the floor to other people. Sorry for taking people. The website you said about tokenomics and stuff, token engineering community .github.io, is that the
yeah, Noe, do you want to share that, because I know you're part of that course right now, but I think we have it in our resource page as well on the Notion,
on the Blu3 DAO website?
No, our website is in progress.
Right. Okay.
We have a Notion page that we'll be sharing. Noe, do you mind resharing that Notion resource link again, please?
Yeah, no problem. Just
yeah, and on that Notion site, Ganesh, there is a community called Token Engineering, and they're basically all about tokenomics, and they're launching the career called Token Engineers.
Gotcha. It's very interesting. I'm my background's not tech, or I'm learning. Yeah, I'm more oil and gas, but I understand, like cash flows and all that stuff. And I mean, I know how to produce oil and gas, but that's about it. But yeah, it's just interesting. This whole world just blows my mind. And I just started Thanksgiving of last year, so.
Welcome. Have you been to a conference, Ganesh?
I wanted to go to the Bitcoin conference, but I missed. I was unemployed, so I was just like, nah, I didn't want to spend that much money right now. But the NFT NYC conference, I was thinking about that. But if y'all have DAO conferences, I'll be down. Like seriously.
If you go to NFT NYC, feel free to meet connect and meet up with me, because I'll be a speaker there.
I'll be down, man. Yeah, for sure. I'd love to just reach out and just chat with you guys and grab a coffee, of course.
Yeah. So Ganesh, Blue DAO, we sponsor scholars to ETH Denver, and then we also sponsored 40 women and Latin scholars to ETH Rio. We're going to ETH Amsterdam next week. We're bringing 2 hackathon teams, but Blue DAO, a big part of our DAO is a scholarship DAO where we bring scholars around the world. We're going to 8 different countries this year, and so if you'd like to join us, we provide scholarships. It's going to be life-changing when you go to these conferences, and if you want to apply for the scholarship, the way to apply it, we have to decide as a DAO what that looks like, but I think we're gonna gate it to people that own our Blue tokens, and Blue tokens can be earned through contributions to the DAO. So happy to see you and like support all of our different sub DAOs,
Yeah.
functions, and then see you in our scholarship.
Wait, scholarship as in giving scholarship to people that are in lower income, in the lower income strata, like you know, like are just what do you guys like scholarship, like going to college, right? You know, for a kid that's
It's more
17,
like
18.
a sponsorship. We should say sponsor.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm curious to know, about what you guys do and all that. I joined your Discord, Telegram, all that stuff. So I'm following y'all on Insta. So hit me up.
We call it scholarship because we want to think of ourselves as scholars. We're bringing people to this place just to learn. And the scholarship is very competitive. It's based on contributions to the DAO and like, you know, passionate individuals. And it's the scholarships worth so far, it's been up to $5,000 per trip because of the scholarship plus the hotel accommodation, the conference ticket. It's just truly life-changing. It's very coveted actually right now.
Cool. Okay, I yield the floor to other people. I've been taking up too much time.
I know we are at the 9:30 mark right now. I don't know if anyone else has any burning last question. Okay, otherwise, I just want to say again, thank you so much to my co-speakers, Randy, Joe, Sin, and Noe. Thank you so much for putting this workshop together. It was impeccable, truly amazing. I can't believe we put this together in like 1 week. And for all of you guys to show up here today, I hope you all learn a thing or two. Have fun minting your tokens. We're available on Telegram and Discord, and we'll be sharing the demo video, the recording on our YouTube. We'll look forward to your comments and have a very good night.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I'll be taking over from there to show you how you can mint your first set of tokens on rip.io platform. Are we ready to get started?
Yes, we are ready. So I'm going to be You there?
Yeah.
You didn't give me access.
My computer froze because of the internet.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a minute. So much for 5-minute video. 5